I feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind. SpaceBourne 2 is a space combat action RPG, and on paper, it sounds great. Until you look at it.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
SpaceBourne 2 has so many different aspects, so many different mechanics, that it should be impossible for one person to make this. A procedural galaxy, action RPG combat in both space and on foot, faction management, a sprawling main quest, exploration, and even mining, but it manages to do just about none of it well. I admire that a single dev is capable of building a game like this, or at least making the attempt, but man is it rough. I've seen a lot of folks on Steam making comparisons to other games like Freelancer, or Elite, or Star Citizen, or even X4, and I do not follow. The combat in space and on foot is beyond easy and very simplistic. The AI is a lot more A than I, worlds are barren, dialogue is voice-generated, hubs are full of lifeless NPCs, ships stop dead when you collide with the terrain, locations are reused and recycled, the story is almost incomprehensible in some spots, assets are store-bought or taken directly from other games, including Halo, and yet, I can't help myself but keep playing it. As you progress in the game, you can sink talent points into 3 specific trees. Soldier, for on-foot gameplay and combat, Pilot, for everything space, and Adventurer, which is tied to exploration and trade. You sink these points into specific tracks under each talent tree, and once you've progressed a track far enough along, you'll be given the option to select a specific power or bonus. I can't equip Ground Slam. Oh, I'm sorry, Ground Slum. I don't think it's implemented yet, based off the asterisks next to other abilities, despite it being shown in the trailer. Everything you do in this game is hampered by bugs and glitches. Although, funnily enough, the same could be said about Star Citizen. I'm not someone who often takes fault with that in a game, least of all an early access release. Hell, I play Arma, and getting eaten by the terrain, or Armad, is so common, me and my friends consider it a feature. But if you can't abide jank, or bugs, this game is definitely not for you right now. Hey kids, you like free cam? We're just warping into a planet's atmosphere now, and I'm under the ground. Alright, I've just cleared this little outpost, and now this person's asking me to go find their daughter. Oh, there's no one here. These are just some choice examples. If I had to give an estimate, I'd probably say I encountered a minor bug every 5 to 10 minutes, and that almost sounds too generous. Honestly, I don't think the space or ground combat is all that bad. In both cases, they're reasonably polished and adequate enough for what they're trying to do. But they both fall victim to SpaceBourne 2's biggest issues: its AI and its balance. As an example, I took a mission to destroy a pirate space station, and after flying around and shooting at the station modules and ships, I quickly discovered that none of their weapons could do enough damage to break through my shields. So, I sat completely still and whittled down each module with my underleveled weapons until I completed the mission. Riveting. While you're on foot, if you want any sort of challenge, I suggest doing content 20 levels or more above you. I'm a level 10 soldier, as you can see here. I'm going to see how long it takes this one NPC to get through my armor. Oh, and they did it while I was in the menu. Alright, well, that's enough of this. I've only ever died on foot so far, specifically when I was trying to complete the entry quest for the Mercenaries Guild. I had to hold out in a bunker and defend a console while waves of enemies spawned in around me, and I was simply overwhelmed by sheer numbers. In my first ever faction battle, because of course this game has those, my friendly AI bugged out and flew out to space rather than helping me, which could have been a bigger problem, but since the game is painfully easy, I was able to take on the whole system by myself. By the way, the flying out to space thing is a big problem if you have underleveled gear and go up against something several levels higher than you. Enemy ships frequently fail to engage with you and choose to fly out into the void if given the chance. So make sure you have good gear equipped on your ship, because otherwise you'll be following these ships into the abyss while you question what you're doing with your life. But somehow, despite everything I've just said, it's simultaneously enchanting. Even though it often looks like vomit on your screen, the fact that you can set foot on any station or planet is very liberating, in a way few games have managed to pull off. However, like everything with this game, there is a caveat to that. Often what you're exploring isn't all that interesting or engaging, and in the case of outposts, villages, and cities, very repetitive. But to the game's credit, there are cool and unique encounters on the planet surfaces and on stations if you go looking for them. I also really enjoyed the surveying system. It's quite an involved little minigame about isolating and boosting signals to find hidden points of interest in a system. Too often, exploration is an afterthought in space games, so it's nice to see it be a bit more involved here. Although, the one time I've done this so far, the secret outpost I found had nothing of value or even NPCs. It's frustrating, because I think SpaceBourne 2 does have some solid bones, but it needs a lot more work. And, maybe needs to remove the misused assets. Though, to be fair, I did see the dev comment on this on a Steam thread, so they are aware of it. If you're interested, I'd say keep it on your radar for now. It could be great, but it has a very long way to go. Hopefully by the time it's out of early access, all the complaints I've leveled against it will be resolved. That said though, there is a distinct lack of cheap games in this genre.
Bruh.
So if you're bored and want to support a single dev make something with insane scope, SpaceBourne 2 might just be the game for you. Alright, that's it. I'm turning in my gamer card. I'll go work for Kotaku or something.